Good morning, everyone. Happy Friday. Thank God the weekend is almost here. A few more hours, and it'll be here. I don't know about you, but Fridays are pretty easy going at work. I hope it is at your job too. Anyway, hey, we were going to do this yesterday, but as we say, life happens. So I'm doing it today. Don't worry, we included last night's scores of the games too. Anyway, hey, before we get started, this is our Week 8 preview. We're going to go over what's going to happen this weekend. A lot of big games. Last 2 weekends have been really, really great in college football. We'll see what happens this weekend. It could be. I mean, it's just be cool if it continued to roll on this weekend. Have a really good Saturday. But that remains to be seen. Before we start, hit that subscribe button down there so you don't miss anything. Got a few news items here to go over. With that, let's get started. Kirby Smart says he didn't realize he shoved Mississippi State quarterback Michael Van Buren until after watching game film. He said he's actually trying to grab his defensive coordinator, Glenn Schumann's attention. He has apologized to Michael Van Buren and head coach Jeff Lebby over it. A lot of people are saying he should be fined for all that. If it was on purpose, yeah, fine him, fire him, whatever. But if it was accidental, I don't know, maybe fine him or something. Who knows? But firing, yeah, I'm not into it. If it was incidental. If he did it on purpose and it comes out that, then yeah, all bets are off. Oklahoma State head coach Mike Gundy suffered an eye injury. Yeah, that's right. Working on his ranch the last weekend. He got head-butted by his cows. I guess he took a horn in the eye or something. I don't know. He says the cattle must have been watching the Cowboys play and they're upset about it. Maybe they are. Who knows? Utah quarterback Cam Rising out indefinitely. Suffered lower leg injury in last week's loss to Arizona State. True freshman Isaac Wilson will start. Boy, Rising, he just can't catch a break. Great quarterback. When he's on, he is on. But, man, he has been injury prone a lot the last couple of years. But sending out the best to you, Cam. Hope you get better. Florida quarterback Graham Mertz tore his ACL in the Tennessee game. Will have surgery, be out for the season. His college career is over. He actually did put out a letter or whatever you want to call it, note on social media thanking the Florida fans for all their support and all that. He says he will be around the Gator football program, helping with game film and all that for the rest of the season. So that's cool. He's just not, abandoning them totally. Texas, they are optimistic that wide receiver Isaiah Bond will play versus Georgia. He had an ankle injury during the OU game. Also, the defensive back Derek Williams out for the season. They didn't give any reason why, just undisclosed injury. They're not going to tell us about that. Let's see. Tennessee middle linebacker Keenan Peely out for season. Torn ACL. A lot of torn ACLs this year. Notre Dame cornerback Benjamin Morrison out for the season. Hip injury. Arizona State quarterback Sam Levitt out for the Cincinnati game. Jeff Sims will start. People on the radio just ragging Jeff Sims. They say he's turnover happy and he loves throwing picks and everything like that. We'll see what happens. Just hand it off to what's his name? Skidaboo, the running back. The guy's badass, man. Just keep handing it off to him. Y'all should be all right versus Cincinnati. Basketball, their AP season top 25 came out. 1 Kansas, 2 Alabama, 3 UConn, 4 Houston, 5 Iowa State, 6 Gonzaga, 7 Duke, 8 Baylor, 9 North Carolina, 10 Arizona, 11 Auburn, 12 Tennessee, 13 Texas A&M, 14 Purdue, 15 Creighton, 16 Arkansas, 17 Indiana, 18 Marquette, 19 Texas, 20 Cincinnati, 21 Florida, 22 UCLA, 23 Kentucky, 24 Ole Miss, 25 Rutgers. No Virginia in there. And speaking of Virginia, some bombshell news came in overnight. Longtime basketball coach Tony Bennett, he just retires unexpectedly, just not long before the season begins. Led them to the 2019 NCAA National Championship. Remember the year before, they went out, they played number 16. I forget who it was, but they went out in like the first round. Next year came back, won the national championship in 2019. There's a press conference today, 11 a.m. I think it is. Didn't see what channel it was on, but it's got to be on ACC Network or something. Listen to the radio this morning. They're talking about maybe, so unexpectedly, he's only 55 too. Maybe he's just tired of the way things going in college sports. They're talking about a lot of coaches getting tired of how things are in college sports, what with NIL and transfer portal and all that. They're just kind of sick of it. Maybe it could have been that. I don't know. Maybe something will come out in this press conference today. We'll see. But, yeah, Virginia's going to need a new coach before the season starts here shortly. All right, so we'll go back a few days. Tuesday, New Mexico State beat Louisiana Tech in 2 overtimes, 33-30. Aggie defense, 5 sacks in that game. Middle Tennessee beat Kennesaw State 14-5. Both teams under 18 first downs, under 285 total yards. As you can see by the score, it was not an offensive power game. South Alabama beat Troy 25-9. Both teams under 15 first downs. Both quarterbacks were sacked 3 times on each side of the ball. Jaguars, 9 penalties for 100 yards in that one. Wednesday, man, I was so looking forward to this game. This is going to be a good game. Western Kentucky and Sam Houston started out good, man. It was 17-14 at halftime. Then Bearcat quarterback Hunter Watson injured, did not play in the second half. That's all Western Kentucky needed. They outscored Sam Houston 14-0 in the fourth to win 31-14. Caden Veltkamp for the Hilltoppers, 281 passing yards, 3 touchdowns, ran for a touchdown. Hunter Watson for Bearcats before he went out with injury, threw for 128 and 2 touchdowns. Hilltopper defense, 3 sacks, 2 turnovers. Man, yeah, that sucked. I was looking for it. This is going to be a great game. I couldn't wait. And he got injured. I was like, damn. Man, that sucks. Never getting ripped off of a good game. But anyway, hope he's all right. Hope he gets better soon. UTEP. Man, UTEP out in El Paso, 800 miles from here. Won their first game. Congratulations. Beat FIU 30-21. Skylar Locklear for the Miners. 161 yards, touchdown. Also ran for a touchdown. Miners defense, 4 turnovers, 2 sacks in that one. FIU, only 14 first downs, 3 for 13 on third down. Only 85 rushing yards. They ended up with 202 total yards for that game. So congratulations, UTEP. You got that goose egg out of your column there. Last night, Marshall beat Georgia State 35-20. Marshall's A.J. Turner, 177 rushing yards, 3 touchdowns. Also caught a touchdown pass. Nice game for him. Keep that stat in mind, because Virginia Tech beat Boston College 42-21. Virginia Tech's Brayshaw Tootin, 266 rushing yards, 3 touchdowns. He also caught a touchdown pass. So running backs last night, boy, they had their game, hell of a game last night. Both of them did. All right, so this weekend, 4 games tonight. Nothing really stands out. Oregon and BYU are both playing, but I think Oregon's playing Purdue and BYU's playing somebody they should beat. So, hey, there's some games tonight. There's 4 of them. Check them out if you want. I usually reserve Friday night for high school football. So a lot of high school football online. So, I'll peek in and see what the scores are, what's going on in case there's some crazy-ass surprise going on. But anyway, yeah, 4 games on tonight. Like I said, Oregon and BYU are playing. Saturday, all right, tomorrow, 11 a.m. ABC. This could be a good one. Number 6 Miami versus 4-2 Louisville. Hurricanes are better at passing, slightly better in the rushing. Cam Ward, 20 touchdown passes this year. The guy's on fire. 11 a.m. ACC Network, 4-2 Virginia versus number 2 Clemson. These teams are pretty close in passing and rushing yards. 11 a.m. on Fox. Really looking forward to this one. 5-1 Nebraska versus number 16 Indiana. Indiana better passing, rushing, and they average more total yards a game than Nebraska does. 11 a.m. on ESPN2. 3-3 Eastern Carolina versus 23 Army. Eastern Carolina does have the way better passing game, but when you see an Army, they just run all over you. Eastern Carolina is not a bad team, so let's see if Army can keep their undefeated season going. 11 a.m. on BTN Network. 4-2 Wisconsin versus 3-3 Northwestern. Wisconsin better rushing and passing, and they average more total yards. Northwestern, they need to get that win. They really do to continue the success they had from last year. 11 a.m. ESPN Plus, 5-1 Arizona State versus 4-2 Cincinnati. Before Sam Levitt was not playing, I wonder if this was actually going to be on TV, but then they said, well, Levitt ain't playing. Put it on ESPN Plus. Anyway, Cincinnati, better passing game. Arizona State, better rushing game because we just Skipaboo, is that his name? Skazaboo? Anyway, guy's incredible. So that's obviously they have the better rushing game. 11 a.m. CBS Sports Network, 2-4 Wake Forest versus 4-2 UConn. This game is just interesting. Check the score on to see if UConn can keep this great year going that they've been having. 11 a.m. on ESPNU, 5-1 Louisiana versus 4-2 Coastal Carolina. Raging Cajuns slightly better in the passing and rushing game, but not much. 11:45 SEC Network, 3-3 South Carolina versus 4-2 Oklahoma. Both of these teams average under 200 yards in the rushing, in the passing game. South Carolina lost a heartbreaker last week to Alabama. Oh, you just got blown out of the water. See how these two teams respond to that. I would think, this is my opinion, South Carolina lost a heartbreaker to a big team. If they can go in there and beat Oklahoma, another big team, I think they'll. I think they got a fire on them. They might do it. They really could. Oklahoma, I don't know what the heck's wrong with them. 1 p.m. ESPN Plus, 3-3 Central Michigan versus 4-2 Eastern Michigan. These two teams are pretty even in the rushing and the passing game. 2:30 ABC, number 7 Alabama, number 11 Tennessee. Third Saturday in October, they call it. Remember, 2 years ago, Tennessee beat Alabama and they threw the goalpost in the river. Always a classic game. Such great players have played in this game over the years. So that is definitely one to check out. 2:30 ESPN, another good one. Number 12 Notre Dame versus 5-2 Georgia Tech. Even in the rushing game, Georgia Tech's a little better in the passing game. Both pretty close in total yard averages per game. 2:30 on CBS. Number 24 Michigan versus number 22 Illinois. Classic Big Ten football. Illinois is better in the passing. Michigan better in the rushing. That's another good one. As you can tell, you have to have a TV and a tablet, maybe even your phone going tomorrow. 2:30 on CBS Sports Network, 3-3 Charlotte versus number 25 Navy. Charlotte's actually better in the passing game. Navy, good team. Can they keep that unbeaten streak going along there with Army? 2:30 ESPN, 4-2 Toledo versus 4-2 Northern Illinois. Good MAC matchup. Toledo's better in the passing game, but Northern Illinois, they are better in the rushing game. 2:30 on the ACC Network, 3-4 North Carolina State versus 3-3 Cal. Two ACC teams that need a win really bad. Cal started off really good, and they've fallen off, especially since that Miami loss. So interesting to see who comes out on top on that one. 2:30 on the ESPN Plus, 3-3. Where are we? We're 3-3 Western Michigan versus 4-2 Buffalo. Western Michigan better in both the rushing and the passing game. 3 p.m. Fox Sports 1, 3-3 USC versus 3-3 Maryland. USC traveling across country to go to Maryland to play. And that sucks because they need to win bad. So does Maryland. So, hey, you never know. These two teams, man, they might fight it out to get that fourth win. Could be worth watching. 3 p.m. on Fox, 4-2 Colorado versus 3-3 Arizona. Both had really high hopes, especially Arizona after last year. Now they're a 500 team. Colorado's already lost a couple. Not sure if Travis Hunter's going to be in the game. So, I don't know. Check that one out. That could be a big boxing match, too. 3 p.m. ESPN Plus, 5-1 James Madison versus 4-2 Georgia Southern. Even in the passing game, but James Madison, better rushing, and they average more total yards per game. Not surprising there. 3:15 on the SEC Network, number 14 Texas A&M versus 1-5 Mississippi State. Bulldogs have a good team. I mean, they lost to, they lost to? Georgia, was it? Only by 10 points. They just can't seem to finish and win games. And as slow as A&M has started in some of these games, all the cowbells going. And actually, I'm being an A&M fan. I'm actually worried about this game. Could be a trap game. 6 p.m. ESPN. Number 8 LSU versus 4-2 Arkansas. Classic SEC battle. Used to play it the day after Thanksgiving, but since all this conference realignment crap, that kind of went out the window. Close in the passing game. Arkansas is better in the rushing game. LSU needs to watch it. Arkansas has improved playing at home. Night game. LSU needs to be really, really careful in this one. 6:30 ABC, the one everybody's talking about. Georgia, number 5 Georgia versus number 1 Texas. Big test for the Longhorns. What everybody's saying. I don't know, man. After seeing the way Georgia plays this year, I know Texas, they really haven't played that tough a competition. I mean, they've had some close games. So this could be a test for Texas. I don't know, just seeing the way Georgia's played against really good teams. Let's face it, Texas is a really good team. I don't know. I don't know about this one. I think it's going to be put Texas on one side of the coin, Georgia on this side, and flip it. Because I really don't know. I really don't. If this Georgia a couple of years ago, Georgia would wipe the map with them. But damn, yeah, I just don't know about this one. Pretty much even in the passing game, but Texas is better in the rushing game. 6:30 FS1, 3-3 Central Florida versus number 9 Iowa State. Iowa State better passing, Central Florida better rushing. They are even in third down percentage. Well, they say you just don't walk into Jack Trice Stadium and win. So they're playing Iowa State. Central Florida's not that good this year. I don't know what's going on with them. So I wouldn't be surprised if Iowa State gets another win and stays undefeated. 6:30 on Fox. Number 17, Kansas State versus 3-3 West Virginia. Can West Virginia prove to their fans that they are good? Neil Brown says, hey, it seems like he's saying, who cares what happens? Are you having fun, though? Are you having fun at the games? I don't know. I know that quote rubbed a lot of people wrong. Mountaineer fans wrong this week, but hey. I don't know. I mean, what do you do when you're in his position? You expect to have a great season this year. You had a decent one last year, and it's just all gone to hell, especially in that Penn State game. 6:30 NBC, 4-2 Iowa versus 3-3 Michigan State. Sparty has to upset somebody, right? I mean, they're playing in East Lansing. Iowa has been known to start off slow. A few games this year, they've started off really fast. Sparty's got to upset somebody, right? I mean, I don't know. We'll see what happens. All right, 6:30 ESPNU. This could be a good one. 5-1 North Texas versus 5-1 Memphis. UNT, though, they are better in the passing and the rushing game, but still, Memphis is a great team. That could be one worth watching. 6:45 SEC Network, 3-3 Kentucky versus 3-3 Florida. 2 500 SEC teams. We're hoping to have better seasons than they are. Somebody's, just like the other game we mentioned, somebody's got to get that 4th win, huh? 7 p.m. ACC Network. Number 21 SMU versus 2-4 Stanford. Why did I put this one down? How is that travel from Dallas, Texas to Palo Alto going to affect the Mustangs? And with all the time differences. So, I mean, I don't know. I don't think Stanford will beat them, but it may wear SMU down a little bit, all that stuff. Hey, you got a good late one. 9 p.m. CW Network. 5-1 UNLV versus 4-2 Oregon State. That could be a pretty good late one. But both teams they average under 190 passing yards. I just don't understand how you win games doing that. But they both average over 250 rushing yards, so maybe that's where they make it up. 9:30 on the ESPN, 3-3 TCU versus 4-2 Utah. Both teams, I think Utah's probably a little bit happier than TCU is in their season. But still, they expect to be undefeated right now. And TCU's not a bad team. They just have a few things not going their way. All right, so get some FCS games here. Got some. Got a bunch of them. Here's a few of them. 11 a.m. ESPN Plus, 3-2 Lehigh versus 2-2 Yale. Yale's better in passing, but these teams are close in the rushing game. 12 p.m. on the ESPN Plus, 3-3 Central Connecticut versus 4-0 Dartmouth. Dartmouth better in the passing and the rushing game. 12 p.m. on the ESPN Plus, 3-1 Columbia versus 2-2 Penn. They are close in the passing game, but Columbia is better in the rushing game. 12 p.m. on Flow. Mark it down. 4-1 Dayton versus 5-1 Butler. Ooh, close in the passing game. Butler is way better in the rushing game, though. 12 p.m. on Flow. Another good one. 5-1 Rhode Island versus 4-2 New Hampshire. New Hampshire, they're slightly better in the passing game, not by much. Rhode Island is better in the rushing game. 12:30 ESPN Plus. Wofford versus Chattanooga, both 3-3. They are close in the passing and the rushing game. 2:30 on ESPNU. 3-2 Florida A&M versus 4-2 Jackson State. They are close in the passing game, but Jackson State better in the rushing game. Another good one on Flow. Flow's got all the good games. 2:30 on Flow. 6-0 Delaware versus 4-2 Richmond. Delaware is better passing, but both these teams are even in the rushing game. 4 p.m. ESPN Plus. 5-3 or 4-3 McNeese versus 4-2 Incarnate Word. Good Southland battle. Incarnate Word quarterback Zach Calzada, 18 touchdown passes this year. He's having a nice season. And then on ESPN2, just like last week, we had a matchup of two top FCS teams. You got one again this time, except it's at 7 p.m. instead of late night last Saturday. 5-1 South Dakota State versus 6-1 North Dakota State. Jackrabbits versus the Bison. Two FCS legends. You see all the national championships in North Dakota State has. South Dakota State starting to build that dynasty. They've won a couple. They are both even in passing and rushing, even in the average total yards per game. Bison are better on third down than the Jackrabbits, but hey, you never know. All right, that's it. We'll be back, Sunday, Monday, to recap everything that's fixing to happen. In the meantime, it's Friday. I mean, it is here. Weekend is just a few hours away. Have a great weekend. Enjoy football, whatever you're going to do. Stay safe. We will see you back next time.